This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So,
Oh, I can bring one. Let me I actually.
Test.
I have one. There's mine, right?
we'll give you guys some agenda packets.
Thank you, Joseph.
You want to be police chief?
No.
And
Hey, Clark.
some of
Oh,
the
that's hot.
nameplates are already set out.
Carol, but she's new, so. Is it
Take off.
Oh, hey. All right.
We're sitting on that side. We're very
Yeah.
unbalanced.
He's opposite there.
He's getting it for us. We can
Okay.
go ahead and call it to order, though. Those are already on. It's already on.
Okay, check 1, 2. Oop, we're hot. Okay, we're recording.
We can go ahead and do call to order, roll call, pledge of allegiance.
That's funny.
Okay, it is 6 p.m. We're going to call this meeting to order. And with that, we're going to do a roll call. So we have, I'll allow everybody to introduce themselves.
Sarah Lovendahl.
Sierra Zamita.
I'm Clark Kasurik.
And Commissioner Brian Thompson and Commissioner Frazier. Happy birthday. Okay, we have the call to order, and now we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Additions to the agenda is up next, and I'd like to propose an addition.
Okay, go ahead.
Jubilee came to speak with us this evening, and I think they might need a little longer than the public comment. So if we could add them, I'd put
Let's
them.
do them as a, well, they would be old business.
Sure. Agenda's a little.
We could share.
Boy, they're way down.
Wasn't planning.
I don't think we have the Buffington Park host, so let's
How about we add them here under Pat Ross under Rotary,
Okay.
because I think that was on the agenda first.
Okay, so 8,
Okay. We'll call it
8B.
8B. Sure.
Okay, so you're going to be right after Pat Ross presents Jubilee. Yes,
I'd like to speak to the planning grant.
okay. Is that, that would be old business as well?
This agenda's a little wonky.
Uh-oh.
We'll call it 8C.
He's bringing, sorry, if you want a copy of the actual agenda, they're being printed right now. So in the meantime, we're trying to work off of a computer copy. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's see. So any other additions to the agenda?
I just have a question if
Yes.
we need to have it as an added agenda item, or if I could just speak as a citizen in passing the baton to Claire about the A-frame building. It would be short.
Or a commissioner report? No, that's not.
It would
your
have to be a
commissioner role.
citizen.
Let's do that as a citizen's concern.
So would you like to do that straight away once we get?
Once we get started, that would be great.
Okay.
And then you guys can do a vote at the next meeting
Okay. Let
in
me,
regards to that.
sorry, let me get additions.
Thank you.
8B, Jubilee,
Okay.
8C, planning grant.
Okay.
Can we adopt the agenda with those changes, or do we have any other changes?
Any other additions, commissioners? Okay.
I'd move to approve the agenda as amended.
I second it.
Okay. Any further discussion or any discussion? All who are in favor of approving the agenda with the amendments, please signify by saying aye.
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 That's unanimous.
Unanimous.
Okay.
Item
We didn't.
3 is financials, and I think Joseph may actually have financials for us.
We were sent them, but we don't have them. We could table for later on the meeting. We can come back to item 3, being financials. Okay, and we don't have the minutes in front of us to approve.
Maybe we should,
So-
oh, here he is.
Oh, I
The man
spoke
of the hour.
too soon.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Joseph.
Appreciate it, sir.
I will be back with a couple more if anyone.
Okay. Well, we've, okay. So we can actually look at financials.
Yeah,
We'll
let's
go back
let's
to
do it in
that.
order because these minutes are already going to be tricky.
And actually, unfortunately,
They're-
financials are not
They're
here.
not in here. So.
Okay, so we're gonna have to table
Table.
financials.
Okay.
But we can go on. You good if I-
Once.
Okay, we have
I
a,
think-
Review the minutes.
Yep.
One time in the last 2-3 years. Very first one.
okay, we're working on approving previous minutes right now. I'd actually gone through them before, so I will motion to approve said minutes.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes from our February 6th meeting, please signify by saying aye.
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 That's unanimous. Okay, application for appointment, Ladine Ricky. Is Ladine here? You're here, thank you. Would you be okay coming forward and introducing yourself to the Parks Commission and maybe sharing your interests, et cetera? Okay.
I've been a community member since June of 2024. And I have a Parks and Recreation background in the university. I am an environmental, I have a master's in environmental education and just work with young people. I've been working for 37 years with young people, which, you know, that's taking them to the parks and all kinds of things. I don't know what else I might say, just I was interested in, actually CRN doesn't know this, but she was the first person that I met in 2023 when I came into
Aw.
Fort Orford, just looking for a place to live. And I was talking with her father recently, because he's going to do some work on our house. So it's just been a wonderful ride, and I'm ready to be more involved in like what's happening with Port Orford.
Well, Parks is a great way to get involved. So I think it's nice that you've applied. Thank you.
Any questions from the commission for a candidate? Have you been to Buffington Park, I assume?
Oh, yes.
Any ideas, if you could share?
Well, I love that park. It's, you know, there's things that can be improved with Buffington Park, but it's a great kind of beginning, and just in the things that are there available for children. The pickleball group, I'm very interested in that aspect of Buffington Park, plus the preschool aspect of Buffington Park. I don't know how they tie together really, but
Okay.
just that the location is my neighborhood.
Oh, very nice.
Close to my neighborhood anyways, so.
Well, thank you. We oversee the little lookout that over the dock. So that's one of our areas. There's also Fort Point. There's the jail, little jail that kind of the visitor center. So there's other things other than just Buffington, as well as the community building that we have some, and we are a recommending committee. So we can't, but for the actual commission, and we have our liaison as well. So just a little bit of how it works a little bit, but thank you for attending. So, okay.
Any other questions?
Well, yeah, any other questions of Ladine? Yes, please.
She would make a great secretary for you guys.
All right.
Hey, and actually, thank you for mentioning that, because with fresh commissioners comes new titles, etc. So just something to be thinking about. Okay, so
I would move to accept Ladine Ricky's application and forward it to City Council for adoption.
I second it.
Yes, second.
All right.
we have 2 seconds. I'll take the first one that I heard, and any discussion? All in favor of recommending Ladine as a Parks Commissioner to the City Council, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any noes? I believe that was unanimous. So it was unanimous. All right. So what happens now, this goes before City Council. Typically, they will go with what Parks recommends, but we just wait for that official, which will happen at the next meeting, and then you find out the final. So thank you for attending tonight. Okay, moving on, citizens' concerns. So Sierra's going to start it off. By the way, packets were brought in, so if anybody wants a Parks packets, they are up here at the podium.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
We're here representing the Siskiyou Discovery Homeschool Co-op. As many of you know, I will be resigning as leader of that homeschool co-op as well as commissioner. My final meeting, that's going to be my report.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know this was your final meeting. That's what I was saying. Okay. Okay.
Anyway, that will be separate business.
Okay.
Claire has come into the fold this year, and we have expanded, be working with school age and smaller kids, and she would love to continue on that site with older kids, just the older group. So we would like to present to council to, actually this month is the month that I would be renewing my lease.
Okay.
So this seems like a really fitting time to recommend to city council to transfer the lease and renewal.
It would just be the name. The title would still be, is it still going to be under the
I've started the LLC process, so I'm
Oh,
still just
okay.
kind of waiting for that paperwork to be returned, and then
Okay.
I can go forward with the insurance and with the permits and all that. So I'm just waiting the moment.
Okay. All
Yeah, it would
right.
be new title.
Okay.
It's currently I'm registered as a sole proprietorship, so it's under my name.
Got it.
Got it.
And it'll be
Okay.
transferred to an LLC.
Okay. Well, Sierra, officially want to say thank you so much for all that you've done there in the A-frame, truly. And
It's been a joy.
it's been wonderful to see the amount of community use that you've brought forth, and Claire, certainly in passing the baton, look forward to what you're going to do. So this is very exciting, and all the best in your next chapter.
Thank you. Now, the last thing I wanted to do was close the door on all that joy that's been taking place. So I'm really grateful that Claire stepped up and
Yeah,
I want my daughter to continue with this too.
Yeah.
So
that's
really why I'm doing it.
that sounds like a win all around. Any commissioners, any other input? I don't want to still.
Do you need a recommendation from us to take it to council?
correct.
Okay, I'd like to
Oh,
propose that we move to send Siskiyou Discovery School back to City Council to renew their lease under whatever format they choose to incorporate as.
I'll second that.
I do have a question before we continue further with this.
Yes,
So that going forward and moving forward from transfer, is it going to look anything like there will be different as far as a contract or price with the school going forward? Do we need to look into that?
I mean, can we add the, well,
In terms of the
I
rent?
guess just
et cetera?
with the lease and
Okay.
the cost of rent going
It
forward.
recently went up, I know that.
Last fiscal year.
Yes.
Did we raise the rent on you or did city council? Yeah,
Just to cover base cost.
right.
Yeah.
So do we
Can
need
we-
to negotiate that here? Or do we send it to city council for,
That's what I was thinking. Let's recommend with the caveat that the finances remain the same
Yes.
or in line. I mean, that's,
That would be very
that's what,
Yes.
okay,
so
so,
we would need to.
I would just like
amend.
to recommend that it stays
Okay.
in with
Okay.
contract, that it
So we need to-
transfers from Sierra
how about we,
to Claire.
Rescind
How about
the
we
second.
unwind-
Send my second.
and
Okay.
I'll unwind my motion and then
Okay,
you
rescind.
can frame your motion however is best.
Oh. Yeah. There you go.
Just wanting to put out there with Sierra transferring to Claire that we put the motion towards the transfer of contract and same price goes forward
Okay.
for review of the council.
I just, one thing, they're just working on the finance. So I don't know if, like if utilities go up, if they were just gonna, because I think it's just utilities that covers that's all. So I wouldn't want to say it has to be the same when there's a utility increase.
Mhm.
But it would be the same if the contract would be the same, that it just covers the utilities. Is that correct? Is that how
Right now it's
Yes.
a baseline, it's $140 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And they raised it because it was a little bit, we were paying 120, it was a little with base
To cover
rate.
the cost.
Yeah.
To cover the
It doesn't
costs.
change based on utilities, it's a base rate.
Okay, whatever the costs are. So I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
We don't
put
want
it
to,
forward and then we have tied their hands and they go, no.
And then you go back and forth.
And we go back and
I
forth.
remember that.
So I don't know if there's
Ah.
some way that we could say that, it continues as the same.
we could make a recommendation to maintain favorable pricing structures. I don't
the-
know if we can say the same
pricing
price.
structure.
Yeah,
Same pricing structure. Does that work?
Yeah, I
okay.
just mean
Yeah.
with the
So we
cost
don't,
just moving recently,
yeah, we're not.
that we look over transferring the contract
Yeah.
instead of writing a new one.
You have the
I
right
guess.
Good
terminology
point.
there, Clark, for the
I
motion.
think so. CR moved to send the Siskiyou Discovery School back to city council for renewal of contract with a recommendation to maintain the same price structure.
Okay.
Or can we do
There
transfer
wasn't-
instead of
there was
renewal?
No transfer in that.
Yeah,
It's about transferring.
I see.
instead of renewal,
Transfer,
maybe
yeah.
transferring to Claire.
That's right, because you're reincorporating the Discovery Co.
It would be, I think it might be a different name.
That's all right.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It would be under a new LLC, so I guess
Oh,
what we
good
need to
get
move
this
forward
hammered
is
out real
transferring
quick.
from one LLC to another LLC.
Well, it's an individual name to an LLC.
LLC,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, do I have a second?
But you're a sole
Okay,
proprietor.
I
to the
second.
LLC.
Okay, we have a second.
Give me just a second here to get caught up. So Siskiyou Discovery School is reforming, is maybe the way to frame it, and needs to transfer its lease for the A-frame.
That sounds.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure I get it in the minutes correctly. Seymour O'Brien. CR moves to send Claire to City Council for contract transfer with a recommendation to maintain the same price structure for the school.
Do you need my full name and you want me to spell it?
Probably your last name would be good.
SCH.
SCH.
ICKEL. Schickel.
Schickel, sure. All right, we have a
Okay.
motion and a second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of this, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. I believe that was unanimous. Okay.
Again, thank you guys for everything. It's been an honor.
Thank you.
thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak as a citizen concern? If so, now is your time. And commissioners can step outside of your role and speak as a citizen. Okay, hearing none, we're going to move on to Buffington Park host, who is not present. Any information on the park that commissioners need to know about?
Little activity happening.
Little activity. Question, what?
Bathroom issues. Ongoing maintenance bathroom issues.
Let's do that under commissioner reports. if
Okay.
you don't mind.
Yep.
I'm just going to put not present.
Now we're on item 8A, which is Rotary Horse Arena restoration. So, all who want to speak about it, you guys can all three come up and have 3 chairs right up there. Please, please introduce yourselves and for the record, and there we go. Thank you, Pat.
Wendy Poole.
Hi, Wendy.
Carrie Branson.
Hi, Carrie. And the floor is yours.
So basically, the Rotary we had our meeting yesterday. We've been talking about this for quite a while. We want to go over and totally redo the horse arena all the way. We'll basically use the same footprints that's there. The materials that we'll be using will be basically what they call the well drilling steel. And it's about, I think it's 2 7/8. Anyway, but something that's going to last for,
Thick gauge steel pipe, right? The drill stem?
and it's.
Wow.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, basically, we were trying to figure something out that instead of going with wood, because it's going to be
Yeah.
like it is right now in a very short time frame. So anyway, we're going to be doing that, and then Wendy, you can show them a picture.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna bring a piece of my fencing, but I did
But
not.
the fencing that we're going to use for the corral, it's
So you need protected, like a vinyl type fence?
Wow. Okay.
I've had mine for about 4 years, and also it takes a little tools to tighten it. We have not tightened ours one time. And my horses are always, I don't know if you want to see a picture of it, or.
Sure.
The difference being with this fencing, it's not very approachable for sitting and climbing on for kids and stuff, so that's gonna keep it looking nice, and it is safe
Looks
for, you know, if a horse
Fall off
crashes
and
into
hit
it, or you fall off and hit it.
You just bounce off the fence.
Yeah.
You don't.
So we're probably we were talking about going with a 6 foot high, but I was just talking to Wendy, and we're probably going to keep it around 5 foot.
Okay.
So that way, if somebody falls off their horse that's next to it, they're not going to kill themselves.
Okay.
And anyway, we are going to do all the work, and we will be, basically, we're figuring the project's going to be $12,000 to $14,000. The Rotary is paying for it.
Wow.
We're not asking for any money or anything else, just
Permission.
Approval.
We have to have the approval before we can go forward.
Yeah.
Not speaking out of turn, but first I want to say thank you.
Right. Yeah.
This is a really big deal. Thank you.
And will get used more than it has been.
No, you
The
can't
first
use
thing
it.
I always go, well, I'll use a bit, you know.
I do have one question about the footing. Are you guys gonna take out the sand and replace it?
Basically,
Just-
at this point in time, there's, the sand itself is in good shape.
Okay,
There's no reason to do it. I've got a rotor tiller that I will go over there and basically rotor till.
okay, cool.
Wow.
Pretty much on a regular, I live so far away from it.
Oh, so.
Yeah, it's a long commute. I know. One thought, the Lilies of the Field, which had suggested doing, but this, and it kind of dropped up.
I think they are. no longer- yeah, and they are kind
They're
of
not doing, she had suggested, the point is, she had suggested doing like a smaller, so it's actually an authorized size for arena,
Rodeo standard size or
a
something.
rodeo standard size. Is that not a concern? This is just discussion right now.
It's
Just-
also,
As long as it's there.
Like breed shows or,
right.
you know, we're not gonna have any big rodeos or anything. You know, probably some.
Yeah, why not?
Play days and fun stuff.
That's awesome to see.
Anyway, the 100 by 250, yeah, the 250 is a little long for an actual roping arena, but we're not roping. So it's
Got it.
basically for show.
So you guys are just replacing the exact structure with new.
Yeah, they're
Basically,
suggesting the
it's
same
gonna be
size.
Almost the exact same footprint,
Okay,
just like it is now, including there's 4 stalls on the end.
Do we know about, the only concern I have is with removing and digging new posts. Do we know exactly where our water system is? Because there is that water tap there. So before
we did, we have to call 811.
Of course.
There you
I just
go.
want to make sure before we do any pulling and
Oh, yeah,
more
no, we
digging
have to do
that we're aware of
Yeah, it's not
the
gonna be
water
that big
system.
of a deal.
Okay,
It's, we're
great.
Basically gonna go with.
Perfect.
Along
There
the,
shouldn't be an issue with drilling more, because how far do your posts have to go?
We're gonna sink the post in right at, we'll be sinking them in right at 4 feet,
Okay.
and they're gonna be in concrete, so
Nice.
it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, of course. I just mean with pulling posts and reed
Yeah.
drilling. I don't know how deep those posts are. I can't imagine
don't
they're
think
more
anybody
than a couple feet, but who knows? So,
along the lines of digging, is this something that would need to go through the tribe?
Yes, I was going to,
I believe
you have to go through the tribe if you're doing digging and moving. But this is a really good, I'm glad
I
you brought
believe
this up
at
because
the
it kind of ties
city
into the.
park, and with the same holes, there shouldn't have to be.
I think, well, we
Yeah,
have
they're
to
doing
get.
exactly what they had in place,
I know,
but
but
Wasn't that the issue with the sign at Battle Rock?
yeah. a little-
But Battle Rock is protected as far as Buffington is city owned.
I think
Correct.
it changed
Did it?
recently.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm going to touch on this on the planning grant, but this can fit into the planning grant. There are certain requirements now, when we move dirt around and, what we have to do with the contacting the tribes and that kind of thing. We also have some requirements of, someone has to be a contractor to work in the city and, that kind of a thing. But, I'll just sit that on the planning thing, but that's something that we're going to have to figure out.
Sarah, do you know who we would contact with the tribe if that is a?
Yeah.
So are you saying that basically if I dig a hole in my property, I have to call the tribe?
No,
So what's the
City.
difference? I don't
City.
understand.
well, that's, it's
oh,
city
public-
property.
Yeah, public property.
It's public property.
What does the
So,
tribe have to do with the public property?
well, I'm not that conversant with it. I'm
The reason
kind of
I ask
new.
is because I was on the reservation for many years in Arizona.
Yeah.
We never went through anything like this.
Probably not in Arizona. I live there. But no, but anyway, we can address those things through the planning grant and get things shovel ready. So anyway, that's why I wanted to talk about the planning grant, but we all need to be on the same page to make these things happen, right? And so we just all need to know what we're faced with, but they're not obstacles, they're just things we have to address, that we're required to address. And so that the tribes, you're absolutely correct about it. And on public lands. On your land, you can,
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking the
yeah,
question.
yeah. No, and I'm sorry, I'm not conversant with the law because I'm sort of digging and new on this. So,
Which tribe is it that we have to go through?
and I'm not sure if there's
Who was it
Was
that
it
told us
Kansas?
about that?
I'll find out, I can
I
find that
forget
out.
that.
But if we can talk about the planning grant, then
Okay.
that might answer some of your questions.
I think ultimately though, do we have to go through, or do we need to go through the planning grant because they are willing to not only put the money forward, the material forward, and the time, and if they're just replacing what they take out with
Yes.
their own
Right.
I
time,
know.
materials, and I understand where you're coming from, I do. But do we have to go through?
It's my understanding, and we get clarification because we only make the recommendations.
Of course.
So, because we
Melissa is going to be your best person,
and
Melissa
yeah,
Radcliffe, city
Yeah.
administrator.
yeah, and
So
and I've
we'll do, and we need
So
to vote
can
on
we
the
motion
recommendation.
to ask for approval from city?
yeah, we
Yeah.
would, if we can go through the planning grant part, this could be incorporated because the planning grant that we have accepted, we passed it last Thursday. I didn't want to jump ahead out of your.
I
See,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's, okay.
Yeah, I can do it. I mean, I just don't hear the,
Well, I think we need a motion regarding horse arena. So I'll motion that we approve Rotary providing the labor and the equipment for renewing the horse arena.
A second.
So a motion, second. Any discussion?
I don't think we can do that without knowing, I mean, we can recommend that, but we
Right.
know that there's going to be other things that we
Okay.
have to do. I think it would be,
I guess that
better
would be
I mean, just,
upon
you know,
city council to determine which, are you okay presenting before city as well? Because this is
mean,
basically how it works. It's the first step is parks, then something like this, then goes to city, which is why Sierra had hinted at all that went on for the A-frame and doing the school. She had to go to many of the meetings to iron that out, but, so we have them.
It's not that I don't want that to happen. I
Right.
just want us to not spin our wheels and for us to do it in a manner that'll enable
Yeah.
us to happen.
So right now we have a motion and a second for the recommendation to go to city. Any further discussion?
Motion was to approve it. Do you want to amend the motion to send it to city for approval?
Okay.
I think regardless, even if we do.
Yeah,
it still goes to the city.
that's the same thing, because
So
again, we're just a recommending
Okay.
group.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion?
Do you have any idea how long that takes?
We're going for the planning grant, May 15th. Then we do all the planning. I mean, to explain the planning grant. And it's to incorporate all aspects of the park so that when we go for a big grant or we go for some development or we've covered all, we've had someone come out and check for the tribes. We've had someone come out and do the work that, you know, there's people that come, consultants that come out and say, yes, you can do this, da, 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 da. And we have all that red tape done. Then when it comes to doing, like, let's say that this commission decides, hey, we want to do pickleball first, or we want to do the playground first, and we want to do this, we're all ready to go for those grants to get those things done, or to go forward with developing or changing or doing whatever we need to do. I'm hoping by May 15th, we have to have our grant in. I don't know how long it, we'll have, if, I don't know how long it'll take to have the grant done. I don't want to hazard a guess.
This is an existing structure, I mean, an existing, not structure, but an existing thing. I think it's something that we can, through Melissa, have one of those representatives come and they stand there and they look, that's how I understand it. It's worked related to Fort Point, but I don't think it's a big deal. Now, the planning thing is, I think it's a little different, but maybe not, Sarah. I'm not sure about that. I think I'm going to call for a vote. All in favor of recommending the horse arena be redone by Rotary, including labor and equipment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Was that everybody?
No.
No.
I did no.
Okay, you did
Because
no.
we
Okay,
don't have-
so that's a signify by saying aye. So all opposed, say no. Any abstentions? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that motion passes. 1 nay. And so it's approved by Parks. So now you'll go to city. I don't think it's going to be, I think it can happen quickly, I think. And I don't think, but Sarah, again, I don't want to speak out of turn, but because it exists, for example, if somebody wanted to put something in at the play area, we already have a play area, and let's say it's a small thing. The play area already exists. Like, I think it falls, or if we want to redo the footing of the A-frame, like if it's an existing thing. But again, that's just
Yeah.
my surmising.
I've had some conversations, and I do know that you're going to have a licensed contractor to do any of these things.
Mhm.
And you have to have an archaeological person on site. And that's just what I've been told.
Okay.
And so, I just wanted to go fast to get through all that so we can do better. So even
I'd
if
say
we do-
Radcliffe would be your best contact, and she'll get to the bottom of it. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Look forward. I'm stoked that you're stoked about the horse arena. That's awesome. Okay.
I just
Oh dear. Well, okay. Well, moving on, consent calendar. Oh wait, we have an 8B. What's 8B?
8B is Jubilee.
Jubilee, please come forward. See, I have the unedited thing here. Please introduce yourselves and
I'm Jen Bailey. I'm to you guys on behalf of the Jubilee, the 4th of July celebration for the last 3 years. Usually I'm a disembodied voice.
Yeah.
So I feel really strongly about speaking into the microphone.
Hey.
So.
And who's joining you?
And this is the amazing Marlene Hoffman.
Hey.
Is our new treasurer.
All right.
And our new liaison to the city. And the
Okay.
reason why we're here now is because technically the Jubilee reports to the city council through the Parks Commission.
Got it.
So I want to make sure that you knew about our new board.
Okay.
And so our new president is Katie King of Tasty Kate's.
Okay.
And our new vice president is Debbie Hannigan. She is actually the manager of the senior center.
Okay.
And now we have Marlene, who is a volunteer for Good. Yes.
Wow. Uh-huh.
Amazing person. So she's going to take over the
Okay.
liaison role for now because
Okay.
I'm stepping back. This will be my last year.
Okay.
So I wanted to introduce her and I wanted to give her a chance of putting her on the spot, but to let you know about our plans for this year because they're different from the past.
And, she's the expert. So we've got 3 newbies on the board and Jen. So we're really relying a lot to get us through this first year. We're making a few little changes. I think the parade route is going to be pretty much the same.
Okay.
What we are going to do as far as a change, we've talked and we've got consensus to move it. All of the activity used to be down at Battle Rock and it got congested down there.
Mm-hmm.
And we also, our stores, all through town, we want to engage the town. We want, more of it to just move throughout town. So we'll have vendors throughout town. There is going to be a trolley that we're going to use this year. We did a little donation to that. And so you could catch the trolley and go down to a vendor down there. And so we've just got some little different things going on. And we got 3 months.
Oh my
We'll
gosh.
be here before we know
3
it.
months to go.
I know. I know.
And Battle Rock will be open.
Yes,
All right.
will be open. Yeah, the visitor center. So it'll still, but it just won't be all congested down there. We're just going to try and move down the street, get more of our stores involved.
Closing any of the little side streets off or it'll just be on the street?
Just be on Main Street.
Nothing on Battle,
We
nothing at
closed down
Buffington?
Battle Rock in the last 3 years, but this year it's going to remain
Sure.
open. So there'll be cars there and Main Street will be staffing the visitor center.
So they'll still have those boat races, whatever they call them?
Oh, the dinghy races?
Dinghy guys.
That'll never go away.
I just wanted to make sure.
I'm sure we're going to have a Porterford pickleball tournament.
The kids.
I would imagine.
Yes, so there'll still be events like at Buffington and different places.
And we're just getting started with trying to, figure out who wants to participate, who wants to vendor, who wants to, have an activity.
Marlene, can I ask, instead of having it in one location, because we did speak very briefly at one point, instead of having it solely at like Battle Rock parking lot or even at Buffington, what you guys are saying is you want to spread it out throughout the town of 101 and get businesses involved. So all of 101, all of town will be kind of included.
Yes.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Cool. I love that.
Mhm.
It's going to be very
Yeah.
spread out.
So the Battle Rock is not going to be closed down, you're saying? I wonder, like in the evening when all the fireworks, and I wonder if that
I think
wouldn't
that's
be.
up to fire marshals if they
Fire-
close the parking lot for safety reasons.
Yeah, because everybody's walking around. Go ahead.
Logistically speaking,
Mhm.
if we don't close down the parking lot right at the beginning of the day, it's pretty much going to have to stay open all day
Mhm.
because people park, and how are you going to manage that? So our thought was to go back to how it has been in prior years as well, is to just keep it open, business as usual.
Is there booth there or no?
Potential safety concerns, just
Mhm.
between people milling around after the fireworks and, cars pulling out.
Mhm.
But we just elected not to close the parking lot and
Okay.
go back to how it had been before.
Got it. I'm going to put a plug in for Driftwood. My wife said growing up that Driftwood, they had all sorts of kids art displays and things like that that the school was,
The school used to
and
be
it was really cool to incorporate kids stuff and parents walking through. And so I don't know if that's something you've thought about, but we,
But we
No,
will
it's on
put it on our next
I mean,
agenda.
it's new administration, new leadership. and-
Even the Coulter's, is it the Coulter's Corner? Is it the Coulter's Corner, that quilting shop? Even then they had, I think it was like held in the library. They had a big show there too, where they quilts and walk-ins. They, okay, so
Oh,
it's still around, which is great. I don't know how Driftwood or Jay would handle the school being open, but
I don't know.
that was always
But
open.
maybe it'll be a future year, but that's been something she's been like, oh, if only it could be that. I'm really excited to hear that you have a new board and that we have a parade that's going to happen. So now I got to work on a float, which is awesome, but
Well, we are going to have a parade once we get 10 volunteers.
oh,
So stay tuned for that.
okay.
We pretty much can't pull off the parade without like these 10 different positions being defined.
Got it.
Expect more news from that soon.
Okay.
Can I ask how many volunteers you have right now? How many volunteers do you have at this moment?
Fewer than 10.
There will be a parade.
There. All right.
Noted.
I have a quick question. The last few years, Jubilee's been in a little bit of flux, and I just want to be clear for the minutes here. Jubilee does not want to use Buffington or the Buffington parking lots this year and does not want to use Battle Rock, right?
So the fireworks are going to happen at Battle
Right,
Rock,
right. Yeah.
but we don't plan to close down the parking lot.
Okay.
And no, we personally do not plan to use Buffington this year. There are other events hopefully scheduled there.
Yep.
But
It's a public park. People can have events. I just want to make sure Jubilee doesn't need
No
first dibs
vendors
on it,
per
right?
se, right?
we're staying focused on what we can do ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Main Street.
Perfect.
Right on.
Thank you so much for stepping up so soon.
Mhm. Yeah.
I do have one question, and not necessarily a concern. I do have to ask about with Public, do you guys have any plan to have, I guess, like a set area would bring in like porta potties or bathrooms? Because if it comes down to all the businesses in town, it might create an issue, situation in tourists and people coming into businesses.
We're on it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, I just have to ask,
Well,
and
actually-
Oh,
as
it's
a
a good
business
point.
owner, it is
I feel like I
a
should
little
add-
bit of a concern.
I feel like I should add that actually, the Jubilee does receive funding from the city every year for the fireworks, just $5,000, which is really important to us. But also the same amount. Anyway, but we have the option to apply for TLT committee funding. So we have submitted a grant. In that grant, specifically focus on this Main Street concept,
Okay,
including porta potties and dumpsters.
wonderful. Because I just want to make sure too, even at Battle Rock, I know you're not utilizing Battle Rock as a
We were
space,
we're
but
definitely going to have porta potties.
Okay, good.
And dumpsters.
Because
at
our
Battle Rock.
tiny little city bathrooms and the workers we have, I don't think can accommodate the population that happens on 4th of July. So I just want to make sure that's in the works as well. Thank you.
We actually aren't planning on any additional dumpsters or porta potties at Buffington at this point. Just to be
Correct.
clear, because it doesn't seem like there's,
Hmm.
hopefully there's the disc golf tournament and other things, but not necessarily to the level that we might need porta potties.
Sure.
So
Driftwood has a great big field.
That's, yes.
Mhm.
that's a great resource. Thanks for
Yeah.
reminding of that.
And there's another field right next to Mr. Ed's. It's kind of like,
Yes, we've been talking about that so that we would have the vendors spread out through town so people could walk and then they would go into the businesses and, spend money there too. So, we're really looking at our businesses to stay open and a couple of them are not going to. So, that's their option. I think they want to play instead of work.
Who knew?
No, we'll be open.
I do know by the way, the field at Driftwood, because they have the new track, there's no vehicles allowed in the middle of it. So just know that. But when it comes to like soccer or games for kids, anything like that, they're more than, accommodating based on what I've seen.
But wouldn't we want to use Buffington in that case? Just throwing it
Yeah,
out there.
no,
Okay.
Depends how far off of 101 you want to get.
Depends on how much you want to support our.
So, all right. Well, thank you for the update and really glad to hear that things are continuing on. And I know it was dicey for a bit there. So this is a great
It
news.
always is dicey. We have a great board, but people get burned out.
Right.
I know.
Looking at all of you, people get burned out.
Yeah. No, it's true. What's the 80-20 rule? 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people. And
Well, I really appreciate all of you.
thank you. Thank you for the update. It's truly. All right. Okay. What was the other addition?
Planning grant.
Planning grant. Okay. Sarah.
The city council last meeting approved the planning grant that you recommended to go forward. And I've been working with Skydra is going to do the grant. She's working on getting a team together to work on the grant. And the grant is, it's for Buffington Park, it's not for all the parks.
Yep.
It's just for Buffington Park. And it has to be in by May 15th. So we're kind of, we might need some help on this. What it'll do is that we will hire, and we are required to have a licensed contractor do the work on public lands. And that's what I was just told by Melissa before I came in here. That's why I couldn't go forward with, I didn't know if they had a licensed contractor to do it. So you have to, but what this grant will do for us, like I said, is it will, we write it so that someone comes in, there's consultants that do this. They look at parks that has multifaceted, reaches not just kids, but older people, middle people, pickleball people. And so they will come in, or the consultant comes in, looks at all our aspects, what needs to be done, what we want to do, because we want to, I know that we want to do a grant for doing the playground. and we might need something for pickleball, or we need something for the horse arena. Or they might say, oh, you don't need, it would be, this other place would be a better use of they just make recommendations. But we get the engineering done, some of that engineering done, so that when the grant, if we get the grant and it's $50,000 and we have to match 20%, so that would make it $60,000 that, that we would get for this. And the idea is that we will be, quote, shovel ready. I mean, we will be ready. So the commission will decide, we'll have this planning grant ready and decide, okay, let's say we want to go with the playground equipment. And so we are ready. We've had recommendations, we had engineering, we've done the tribes, we've got all of that done.
Mm-hmm.
So we're ready to put in for the big grant, which might be, I don't know, $300,000. I don't know. I'm new to this, but it would be a lot. And there's certain things now that we have to do ecologically, as far as what we put down as a base, I guess the commission decides, what kind of materials we want and what type of playground equipment. But we're ready to say, hey, we've got all our planning done here, and we have a much better chance of getting some of those funds for whichever part we see. And then we're all ready for the next phase. Maybe it's the horse, or maybe it's, whatever that we feel. It would just, though, be in the Buffington Park area, whether it's a nature trail or whatever this commission, deems as where we want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're at as far as, the city council. And so I've just tried to work with Skydra. She's trying to get her team. We might need to reach out to some people in the community to help with it. She'll write the narrative, maybe some parts, maybe Jared would be interested in some.
I'm trying to remember the name of the woman who works with the community building.
Toby
Porter.
She's very busy getting more money.
From my understanding, Toby is not interested.
Okay.
Yeah,
We've reached out.
Yeah.
She's done a lot, but
I would love her to. You're listening, Toby.
Toby's amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
She's the one that basically got all the grants for our wonderful library.
But I know that Skydra's done a good job of writing grants. She likes to write grants. She just got a big grant for Drury.
Skydra's also
very
good.
And they did a really good job. She worked with, and she's trying to bring on Carol Hackrell. I don't know if any of you know her. She's absolutely fabulous, very detail-oriented, perfect type person. So we're trying to get that going. It has to be submitted by May 15th.
So once the grant is approved, what is the timeline that you're shovel ready? I mean, once you get the grant, are you shovel ready? Is it guaranteed for 30 days, for 60 days, for 90 days?
I think
for a year?
I can look I've got a copy of the thing here, and I can't remember if he asked me, and I wish I could have told him. I think we have to have it's in the months. It's a month thing, and I think it's 6 months or less. It's something like that. I mean, it goes fast, and I don't want to speak to it if I don't know for sure, but it's in here.
So then if the shovels don't get in the ground within the timeline, then it has to all be redone?
No. We would make sure that we are ready to go out. I mean, the grant is done, then we can put out to. Then,
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
The work that's
how long
gonna
do
be
we?
done,
Yes.
how long is that guaranteed for 10 years, for 5 years, for?
I think they want you to get going on it, on your grant after you've got, if you get the grant.
Sarah, I think what she's asking is once you have the planning grant in hand and you've got your shovel ready status,
right,
how long is that shovel-ready status good for? Is it open-ended?
Yeah.
Is it a 10-year
I
sort of
don't know.
thing? But it
I
would
did read-
presumably be a few years, right?
Yeah. It's just not, it doesn't mean that we have
I
to
was
get it
just
all done in 6 months.
Okay.
I was just curious.
No, and I
That's a
and
very
I
good
will
question.
I will get
Thank
that
you,
information.
Clark.
No, it's a great question. Great question.
I had the same
Sorry, Mr.
question, to
Dan.
be honest.
Mark,
Which is,
that's it. Go.
I think
Yeah, I would
we-
imagine
Oh.
that there's some things that are going to be your quicker and then other things that are like 5 years. And I guess this is a question for the grant or
Right.
whatever, or 10 years out, like what are
What-
the long-term goals and what are the quick
Right.
ones?
You think that would be like part of the plan, right?
Right,
In the planning is like, what are the priorities? What is the order in which you want to accomplish these projects?
Right, and I think that's my biggest question is before May 15th, when we have to have it in, do we need to have our set goals? Do we need to have a list of exactly what we want to be shovel ready?
It makes sense.
Because we can't just go into it being
Right.
like, yeah, we want this so we can get shovel ready. Do we need to be shovel ready? Do we need to have a list of this is what we want first, this is what we want next, this is top priority? How much do we need to have into this if we're looking at the 50,000 and 20% match?
May, April. So that's a great point. And I think reviewing our master plan, which hopefully y'all each have one of those. And then any subsequent things that seem to be neat items so we can discuss it next meeting. I think it'd be very appropriate.
I think if the planning grant is such that they look at it's up to us to determine, once we have a planning grant and they say, okay, this is what you need for here, this is what you need for here, this is what you need for here, it's up to us to decide how to.
We need it decided before the grant gets approved on
I
the 15th.
don't think so, but I will get back to you on
Okay.
that.
we may
Can
not
I
get the
motion that we have our, before or on the 6th of March, that we have our new updated 10 goal, I'm sorry.
Top 10?
Top
I
10.
think that's a great idea.
March 10th.
I'm sorry,
For the April meeting. I mean, if
For
we
May
have
6th is our next meeting,
for May, yeah.
that we have our next updated top 10 goal list.
Start. I mean, she's going to really go on it. I mean, she's going to start on April 15th because it's got to be May 15th. So that's not, I mean, we can have that ready. I don't know if that's essential for getting the planning grant.
I understand.
Right,
It is
right.
essential, though, that we do come up with a new top 10 goal.
Oh, yeah.
I think
mean,
that's
in
great.
general, yes.
So as long as we work on that and get it approved by our next May 6th meeting before.
Let's do this. Let's just come with our top 10 items that we want to see and we'll discuss them next meeting. Not necessarily for the planning grant, but normally annually we do
Absolutely.
that. So we haven't done it yet.
Right. And I think our top 10 would work into that planning grant.
Right. They can use it as a resource if they so choose, but it's a great thing.
Do you want that to be citywide parks? Because this is only going to be for Buffington.
I understand, and technically, yes, it is for our whole Parks Commission area.
Yeah.
But if we at least have that set, so at least as a commission, because some of us are new here and we've all been out, and let's be honest, this last year, we've all been vacant at times. And Sarah's leaving and we might have new people coming in.
Yeah.
If we could all maybe get on the same page as far as that top 10 looks before our next meeting or approve it on next meeting.
We need to, put it on the agenda at our next meeting.
Yes.
And we could
It needs to
extrapolate from that, the top 10 that fit into the Buffington.
Exactly. So
There you
if
go.
we do our overall plan of top 10
Brian,
and then we can.
Was that a second from you when you said that we would discuss it at the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
I second that motion. Any discussion regarding top 10
We're
goals?
due to do our top 10 anyway, so it's fine with me. Carol's
May I don't have a copy of the Parks and Rec
Okay.
main.
That's also a Melissa Radcliffe,
Okay,
the
so
city
maybe
administrator.
I could call Joseph and he could email it to me.
Most likely.
Yeah, if it's in PDF form, and I might have an extra hard copy, so I will go home and look
Is
at my
that
stack of
the
parks.
2017 document
I believe so.
that, I
And
mean, I
then-
got Greg Tidy's copy.
Okay.
You're like, have you seen it?
Might be due for some updates.
Yeah,
Is that what we're talking about?
yeah, that's the
Binder
last
has
one.
the plan for the different parks.
We
Yeah,
did
yeah, yeah,
do
yeah.
a top 10 goal like a year or two ago, and was that only last year?
It's been a couple years now.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Yeah, so we are
Then our goals got consumed by roof money or something.
lots of
You
other.
know, we need to do it for this upcoming.
A
We do.
lot of it
We
went
do.
into the visitor center too.
2017?
It hasn't been updated since then.
No, the 2017 was a 10-year plan, right?
We should be doing a 10-year plan
Pretty
every
soon.
so often, and we did
Yeah,
one 2 years ago, I
You
believe.
did? I don't
It was
recall.
very,
I'll dig through my stack
Do you
of
have a copy
parks.
of it, Ciara?
Brian may,
Of the top 10, you mean?
yes.
No.
Oh, yeah.
We have the Parks Master Plan, which is the strategic plan.
Right.
And that's
Right.
a 10-year plan. And then we have every year top 10 goals that are supposed to be in alignment with the overarching master plan.
Gotcha.
And so we can't just like change the 10-year plan because it was done by fancy consultants and it's all, bindered. But what we get to do every year is we get to put forth our top 10 objectives for what we want to do with the park system. And we need to do that in May so that it can be considered by city council at their budget meetings.
Yeah, because
Thank you.
they're working on the budget now. And
Yep.
so, yeah, that's absolutely.
We have a motion. We have a second.
With any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor of having our top 10 items for next meeting or discussing them at next meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous.
So when you give her your copy of the last year's top 10, can I have a copy? May I? Or do I get it from
I think
someone
it's
else?
about 2 years old, and
Well, 2
I
years
will
is
try
good.
to scrub to find it. But I literally have
I
a
think-
stack of park stuff about this high, so I will
If
try
I
to.
may, Brian, I think the easiest way to go about this is if you do find it,
Mhm.
email it to
Email
Joseph,
it,
and
there you go.
Joseph can
Joseph
email it
can
to you
just
guys. That way we're not creating,
Okay, so that's on my to-do. Email.
Don't want to make a serial meeting.
nope, don't be
Nope.
accidental.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Okay, top 10. Awesome. Let's see, where are we at?
Consent calendar, but there's nothing on the consent calendar.
Okay, so nothing on the consent calendar. Moving on. 10A, Commissioner Izumida.
Just to report that it's been an absolute pleasure working with you guys, and I wish more progress could have been made in my time. But I'm super glad to hear that more faces are showing up. I was really concerned about resigning because for a little bit there would not have been a quorum
Yep.
without me.
Right.
And so I'm so grateful that no faces are showing up so that I can step back and move on to the next chapter of my life knowing that you guys have got it covered. That's really makes
And
me
any
feel
in the audience who also so desire to be on the Parks Commission, please note.
I did have a question in regards
Yeah.
to that. Do you guys need a formal letter of resignation for files?
Please
I will
email.
send that
Yeah,
to Joseph.
yeah.
And I will still be around.
Good.
I'm going to be coming back and doing kids camps.
Oh, nice.
We
Okay.
just wrapped up our spring break camp, which was a ridiculously fun time.
Oh.
So yeah, I'll still be around doing silly things. With
Well,
kids,
thanks
being a rebel.
for all of the time that you've contributed to the Parks Commission in Port Orford, and that's very appreciated. And commissioners, any other input on that regard?
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Stop by. You know where to find me.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to miss you,
Yeah.
Wasn't the plan.
but it's a good plan.
Aw. Okay, anything else?
Just idle piddling from Parks host. I think as someone who is stepping back, I really highly recommend that specific issue be addressed. I feel
Okay.
like you guys could really benefit from somebody who has and I'm wondering if health is a big part of it. Like he's just physically incapable of handling the workload that needs to be done at that park.
Okay.
But there's been ongoing issues with the bathrooms. I believe that is his responsibility. We literally do not have public amenities available due to the lack of accountability that's happening with the park host position. And so I really highly recommend as I step back that you guys keep pushing for having that position be refilled.
Who is like above the park host? Who's the one? Melissa?
Yeah, city administrator.
Notified.
Okay.
She's been notified.
Complaints have been in writing.
Okay.
I myself had to file a formal complaint.
There's been,
Yeah.
yeah, she's been notified.
As a citizen.
Joseph have been notified. Yeah.
These are recent
Yes.
because
And nothing is being done.
there's been ongoing. This has been going on for a couple years. In fact, part of his job description is to be of presence at these meetings.
Uh-huh.
And he has not been present for the meetings I saw, he was here
Seen him
once,
one
but
time
that was a couple
in
years
years
ago.
I've
So
been there.
just know that this is an ongoing problem. And
The restrooms, I was at a meeting 3.5 years ago where Parks and Rec purchased a leaf blower for him to keep the miniature golf.
Oh, yeah. I play it all
Things
the time.
blown off.
Right.
This is true.
Not on daily basis, maybe a couple times a week. The Parks and Recs actually delivered it to him, and that is not being done.
I think as liaison, it would be up to me to bring it up to council
Yep,
That would
and
be
your,
wonderful.
and your concerns.
that would be
So
appreciated.
the restrooms have not been cleaned in 4 months,
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
and they have no paper towels. So we have notified everybody that we
Okay.
can notify 3 times a week for 3 months.
All right. And he's required to be, I was looking at your bylaws and I was looking to see if it's in here that he's required to, but he's required as part of his job description to be here.
Melissa told me.
Yes.
That's my understanding, right? Yeah.
Cleaning the restroom.
Right.
I don't think we've ever seen the contract.
Should we maybe get a copy?
Or,
That would be great.
yeah, or Melissa can just determine whether or not the terms of the contract are being fulfilled, which,
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I
So
think
maybe
I'm
it's
supposed to
time-
do. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that
Maybe
would,
it's time then that it does go to city council.
Yeah.
Since we're only recommending, maybe it's time for the city council to step up.
Yeah, as liaison, I make a report.
mhm.
yeah.
I didn't do it last time because I hadn't been at a meeting. So as part of my report, in a written report, I would put this in for the next meeting.
I don't know how they would,
Up until a few months ago, somebody was paying, the city was paying somebody to clean those restrooms. And once that stopped, the restrooms have not been cleaned.
The same contract that was covering Battle Rock, I believe. Same.
really? Well, who's doing Battle Rock?
I was told, I went to Battle Rock, I was told that the city workers clean Battle Rock.
Oh,
And they
that's changed
clean
then. That's changed.
That's
So
what
I
my understanding was as well.
Because I wanted
City
people
Works
that
takes
clean
care of
Battle
Battle
Rock to
Rock
come clean.
bathrooms.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's the city workers.
And they drive right past every day.
Yeah.
Just hop in for 10 minutes.
He should be, well, from my understanding.
Oh.
So,
Hmm.
so this really needs to be elevated formally in writing
Yeah.
to,
Right.
Well, it's,
Yeah,
you know,
and,
it's not just us, people that use Buffington Park. We have, the UPS driver comes over there, FedEx comes over there.
The public,
Other
the bus
drivers that
drivers,
come
the bus
through.
drivers.
Yeah, the
It's
tran-
not, it's,
Carol, do you know somebody that's been there cleaning the bathrooms as of late?
pardon me,
Do you know who's been cleaning the bathrooms like as of
I
late?
just know it was a lady that walked.
Okay.
I don't know who
I
she
will
was.
say, I was there this weekend on a Sunday. Me and some friends took a bunch of our kids over. There was some things I did notice that was a little upsetting. We did go use the restrooms, and while it was stocked, there was toilet paper, there was soap, there was paper towels.
In the girls' bathroom, but nothing in
Okay.
the boys' bathroom.
However, it still wasn't clean, I would say.
Hmm.
And that did kind of seem like an issue. There's other things, like there's piles of sticks everywhere, which I'm sure you're aware of, and I don't know if
Oh, we've
you
been
guys
making
create
piles.
those. Okay, which is great. And I was wondering,
Mm.
I was like, you and the kids could be doing that, which I think is wonderful, and that's great. I just don't want there to be those safety risks, because there was a lot of other kids I saw there this weekend. It was very cool, actually. Sunday, I've never seen the park that full before. There was so many people pickleball, so many people doing putt-putt and playing on the playground, which was really cool and it was really active. Kids over there playing basketball at the same time. It was super active while we were there, and it was very cool. But it does need a lot of cleanup
And another
and a lot of help.
Yeah, go ahead.
another point is trash. I would think that that would be in the parks host.
Yes, we did go around pick up trash too.
And there was a big concern where a local parent had found a capped needle in the
That's
park.
right,
So
that's
if
right.
that is something that's present in the park and we don't have someone, because we've been doing that.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't necessarily be people whose that needs to be taken on as like a safety concern. It's health. It's, the bathrooming and the trash are safety concerns for the public. So if those aren't being upheld, I don't know, should we be making a motion for this to go to city council for them to take action instead of just a report?
I would agree with that.
If you want to.
Would you like to make?
I don't, then it'll be a motion before that, then I
To
can,
take action.
I can
To
bring it up
begin the
in my
process
report to
of-
make a motion. I would have, the motion, and then the motion would have to come from one of the council.
Okay.
But it does need to be a open discussion. I mean, that needs definitely.
Mm-hmm. Well,
What's the park host's name? I don't mean to.
Richard.
Richard, okay.
Oh, that's right.
My motion would be for city council to assess whether the park host is upholding his contract, and if not, to take action to replace the park host.
Okay.
Does that
A
sound like
second.
a reasonable motion?
So a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor of this parting motion by Sierra? Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's unanimous.
I think Sarah might be abstaining.
No, she said aye. It was a full consensus.
That's my report.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Izumita. After you're done typing, Clark, you are up unless you want to.
Nothing to report this month. I've been swamped with other responsibilities.
Okay, and I'm up. So the bench. It was about a year and a half ago, maybe a couple years ago, my mom paid to have a memorial plate on a bench. And lo and behold, I pulled up to the park and there was 2 new green black benches. And sure enough, there it was for my dad. So that was really cool to see. However, the bench is overlooking a dilapidated playground. So now it's my job to work on this playground so that the dads wanting to overlook kids playing and having fun. I'm getting shivers right now thinking about that. So, yep, I'm in it to see that playground be done. And, but it's really good. And thank you to the city employees for getting that playground in, if any of you are listening. I know, Clark, to camp on your wetlands thing, I don't think anything's happening there. Just to keep it on our docket it needs help.
What's the wetlands thing?
Forgot about the wetlands.
Yeah, right. It's easy to happen. Clark had been a champion for over a year of that, so I figured I would keep. Wait, Clark, can you answer the question?
There is a wetlands boardwalk next to the liquor store off 101.
Oh,
And
yeah,
you
okay.
go down the hill. The boardwalk, the timber is more or less okay, but the joinery, the fasteners have rotted out with salt and marine environment and fog and swamp. And so it is no longer really safe. It has also turned into something of a magnet for people with no other where to live to set up shop. And it has resulted in some garbage accumulating in the sensitive ecological wetland there. So for a long time, that was my thing. Was I was hammering on was trying to get figure out if we could do anything with the wetland. It has not come to pass that we have the budget to rebuild it or to demolish it or to do anything with it. So it has been in a stasis for some time.
I would love to make a movement to actually get it taken down and allow that wetland and safe environment to be recreated into a natural ecosystem again.
Yeah.
I know that might not be ideal. I don't know if it's protected necessarily by
I don't know.
any sort of,
I know a bunch of organizations went in to help create what is there, and it's kind of cool when you go out.
I mean, it's beautiful. However, it's sad and it is, again, dangerous, and it's
It is.
creating unsafe environments, and to allow it to just go back to its natural habitat, I
Until
think would
something-
be more beautiful than to
Yeah.
recreate it into
Yeah.
something.
Let's see.
Those are just thoughts.
Yeah. I think that's all I have. So, reminder of wetlands and what to do there. I don't know.
I can put that in my report.
I don't know if we, yeah, that'd be
I mean,
great.
it's not a motion, but just to say
Just
that
a
it's a
status
concern
report.
That
and that
remains an
Yep.
issue.
safety, and this is something.
Yeah.
They need to,
Ultimately,
We
it's
need to
more just
repair it or
curious
get
what's
rid of
actually
it.
going
That's
on with
what-
it, is we just want an answer of what is going on.
Yeah.
You know?
Just for you guys to know, there was the idea that insurance would cover it, and we were all excited. We as a commission were excited about that, and then it turned out that they're not going to cover it, and it was all on parks to do it, and at that point it fell flat, and so it's just what it was. I think that's all I have. Commissioner Frazier.
Oh, the one thing I want to talk about is like a year ago, I think, I had gotten a new sign printed for the Buffington sign, which has unfortunately rolled around in my car for a long time in a roll. It is printed. I thought what I had ordered was a vinyl sheet that could be just kind of tacked on. I was trying to get it done before 4th of July last year. Unfortunately, it didn't get here until after 4th of July. However, I did get everything reprinted correctly with arrows that show where everything is correctly, because it's not all correct with our old wooden sign. Did talk with Commissioner Coker here about that recently, and turns out it is a vinyl. So I guess what I'm looking at is I need to figure out a piece of metal that I can purchase that's the same size that I could stick it on and then bolt to the existing posts. There's zero digging, nothing of that sort.
Yeah. I think what you could do.
Or even plexiglass would be fine.
So the city yard is on the Porterford Loop, right? And there's
City yard?
old,
On Porterford Loop?
we'll talk about that. But there is signs that depending on the size, it could probably be repurposed.
Yes.
And so that would be, and I could work with you on that.
Okay, that's all I really
Okay.
need to do is just find the right size of something to
Be happy
it on
to,
and
happy to help
drill it
make
on.
that happen and put it up.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm sometimes often swamped, I forget about it, and it just
Okay.
is kind of there. So
I'll
if
ping
anybody
you
would
for
like
that.
to give advice or help along, I would appreciate
Okay.
that. So.
Anything
and
else?
That is all.
Okay. Commissioner Courier,
Yes.
you have the floor.
My name is
It is not, but I did not forget about you. So
So what would you like me to tell you?
this is just your commissioner report.
Thank you for accepting me.
Absolutely.
How many years? did
Thank
I
you for
serve?
being here.
4.
4 years.
A high school career.
And how many commissioners are, if you have all of the commissioners here, how many are there of you?
Well, we're going to have one
There's
there.
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She's going to be
So
heading
is
out.
7 a full house? then?
Seven's
Is
a
that-
full house.
Seven's a full
4's
house.
a quorum.
Yep.
And 4 is a quorum. Okay.
And that includes the liaison?
Yes.
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 Yeah,
Yep.
according
Voting
to the
member.
bylaws, I'm a commissioner. I
So
should
I
have a
guess
little
after
thing that I
this
can.
meeting, that means we have 2 seats to fill, correct?
No, 1 seat after this. 1, 2, 3,
Sierra's,
4,
this is her last
5,
one.
That'll be one.
Oh, you're right,
Ciaran and I
correct.
are
We're
both
just
short timers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing we need to talk about is recruitment, trying to get
Not
out.
make it onto this
Mm,
agenda, but
There's one
Brian's working on
parent
it.
that is already very interested, and I was hoping she'd be here tonight.
I heard Jen's.
And then there's
pretty
Wendy
soon.
that's right in the, I know she's trying to camouflage in with her camo jacket, but we see her. But
You think it won't be
we're on a
problem?
good roll, I
Well,
think. So, yeah. And Clark, just to be fair, clear, transparent, you're ending,
September's my last meeting.
is that also yours? September, okay.
Also, that's, yeah.
Okay,
Need a couple more, right?
You'll find them.
okay, Commissioner Courier, it's still yours.
So thank you all for accepting me.
Mhm.
That's it, that's all?
Wow, simple. And liaison, your turn.
I was on, I already signed.
Oh,
I wanted
okay,
to
if you want to
speak
consider
the,
that yours, then
planning
right on.
and what we're trying to do and
Yeah.
get involved, and hopefully this turns out to be a really good thing and that we can start
I think so.
getting some of these bigger projects done.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I know we had several meetings leading up to, and even at Driftwood, and
Yeah.
there was some good input. Okay, old business. Do we have any?
The agenda is out of order, so we've already addressed, I think,
Yeah.
Okay.
our new and old business.
Right on. New business is good.
Same.
Same. Sweet. 13A, citizens concerns. Anybody having heard and witnessed the parks meeting? Anybody want to speak?
Sully?
Hey, Sully, your last chance.
He's so.
Hard.
All right. Nope. That wraps up citizens considerations. Commissioners considerations. Anything for the good? I'm looking forward. I'll include this. The hearing ideas on what we want to have as our top 10. We discuss them, which we will do next meeting, and then figure out in order and by priority what that looks like. So that's kind of how that works. Anything else, commissioners?
I just want to have one last note that not like boot the man. I just want to send out my encouragement to you guys that I see how hard you work and I see how much you guys care about this community and what you contribute, and I commend you all. And I'm so grateful to have been part of it and will continue it, and I just give you that gumption to not and to see these projects happen and to continue to make Port Orford an amazing home, not just a place to live, but a home.
Oh.
So thank you.
Thank you. Future meeting, Thursday. That's not right.
I changed it here to May 6th.
Is it actually May 6th? Are we sure about that?
Check. Hold on.
Oh, I just kept saying May 6th because I figured March was.
May
1st.
No, it's a Thursday. Oh, okay.
It's the
It is
8th.
May.
May 8th.
Well, no, the first,
No, it would
the
be
first
first.
Thursday
The first.
is the first.
Of course.
You're correct.
Maybe.
So we're meeting Thursday, May.
First.
Do we want to push it? Since I don't know if May Day to any of y'all. I mean,
The only thing about.
it's another day. Okay.
Second Tuesday is planning.
Yeah,
Okay.
We need to keep our.
Well, then it is May 1st at 6 p.m. here in the Gable Chairs and online. And with that, and thank you for wrapping up your final meeting. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you so much.
No.
Sierra, what a blessing you've been to our community.
Well, I'm not, you'll see my shenanigans.
I know you're going to be around, but like
You
you
better.
I'll be, I'll be even more of a rebel. When I come.
I like that better for you, actually. Good for
Works
you.
way better for me.
Oh, yeah.